Now that we have Discord and Midjourney connected here, and the bot connected, you can see it off to the right here. We're going to look at a couple of features and settings within Midjourney. So if you come to your channel and you type / you're going to get the list of all the prompts that you can begin. The main prompt, of course, is the Imagine prompt, as we've shown in some of our videos that may have brought you to this particular course. Describe I use quite often to help with images, to help me understand how Midjourney is seeing things, and then use some of those prompts to create new things as well. There's blend, where you can blend two images. Let's see some other things that are really interesting and kind of needed. You can go to stealth mode if you want to go private on a couple things. This new tune is very interesting. They're going to be adding what it is it allows you to create an ambiance or a certain type of look for your prompts, and you can save that in a shortcode and then add that to other prompts. So we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in some other videos and things in the future. So those are some of the other abilities, and so we're going to look at Imagine real quick. I'm going to imagine a cute puppy, and we're not going to give it any parameters. We're just going to say cute puppy and see what it decides. So here it is imagining, and while we wait for that noise to start, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the describe option. So we've got describe. We'll hit describe there, and then we will drag an image that I've pre-sorted here, so we can see that image. Whoops. That image is a grandfather and granddaughter playing chess. So we're going to see what it decides. I named it test 001 just to make sure. Okay, so our puppies are complete. Let's talk about them real quick. You can see it created more artistic versions. This is kind of photorealistic, and you could pass for that. And you could use any of these in some cute piece of art. Now going back to the describe, here's our test JPEG, so we're going to say yes to that, and so it's sending Discord bot this prompt, and so now we've got look at that, it properly worded elderly man and his granddaughter playing chess on a wooden floor in the style of aerial photography. So you can see it's already deciding. Okay, it gives us the subject. It also told us the type of photography, so kind of overhead. Gave us a style and some coloring, eye-catching, innovative techniques, common ruling. It also gave us an aspect ratio, so you could use that in your prompts for other things. An older man and younger girl playing chess. Obviously, it's got a good job with that. Senior couple plays with their grandkids on a wooden floor. Well, we definitely didn't do that. But then we can take this and we could copy this directly and use it to imagine something and just say, and then see what it returns. So this is kind of where some of the litigation issues have come in for Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and other platforms that we've discussed or mentioned, that in feeding this artificial intelligence platform these things, those individuals' intellectual property rights on that particular piece of stock photography are concerned that they're not going to get the representation they may want, or the recompense as well. So here it's created that, but you can see it's totally done something completely different. So it's definitely not the same thing. I didn't go with that aerial approach, even though that prompt says aerial photography. So it took some things and created some things of its own. It was creative in its application. So we can see, let's just upscale one of these real quick to get a closer look at what that looks like and how it. So it's kind of photographic over here, but not so much over on this left on the young girl. So it's interesting what it comes up with, but there are a number of things that you can do with these things. So we're going to upscale our puppies here for test. I'm going to go with the version 1 and use that. Let's show you some of the other features that are in here. So you can take this, once you've upscaled it just a little bit from that initial version, you can tell it to vary it either strongly, subtly, or you can select an area of the image to modulate somewhat. Now recently they've added this upscale 2 and 4, which makes for very good uses in print applications. You can also zoom out to get a wider angle, especially if you wanted to use a commercial application, or you can pan it with these arrows up, down, left, or right, or you can do a custom zoom as well. So for me, I'm going to just do a zoom out. We're going to zoom out on this a little bit so I have some more area to use. So let's say we were doing a poster for a dog grooming place or something like that. We want to add some text around it perhaps, and so we want a little bit more area to add that text and other designed items. So as you can see, it's already doing some interesting things. In some look, it's got a lamp here in the background. It's got different lighting techniques and textures. One looks like it has a window. So it's almost done, and then we'll take a look closer at these particular items. Okay, so we've got some nice lighting effects. I like the lamp, but I kind of like the window behind it. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with upscaling version 2. So now we have a slightly zoomed out, and we can use that. We can just open in a browser and then save it for ourselves to use in any kind of application, web or print. Again, if you want to go with print, I would suggest going with some of these higher scales. But let's go back to our thing, and let's vary it strong and see what that does. So if we look at this and manage that, we're going to see this come up differently. So it's beginning. Okay, so there's the noise. It's got the same darkness so far, and it's changing the puppy a little bit, some variations in the head and form, the angle, and these look a little more maybe photorealistic this time, much closer. Like this top right one definitely looks more photorealistic with some filtering on it. And so we can see that the coloring and shading has been changed a little bit from our original puppy. But that's, you're going to jump in on this and kind of tinker with it and see what the results are for yourself. And as we expand our channel and add more to the courses, you can see and use prompts to improve and impact and make different results for your images that you're going to generate. So it's really fun to tinker with on your own, come up with your own kind of prompts, and that's kind of how I began and how my brother and I began with our prompting as well. And then we started learning more and more about these models and how they produce these results. So continue messing with it, continue tinkering with it as on your free time and however you want to use it. And we'll look forward to talking with you in a future video.